Today, we're diving into one of the biggest transformations happening right now, the race to completely reinvent aerospace. It's this incredible story of technological ambition, and it's all driven by the urgent need for sustainability. And, a surprising amount of this future is being built right in the heart of Germany. So let's take a closer look at how they're planning to pull it off.
For more than 100 years, the runway has meant progress, connection, a new adventure. But today, it also represents a massive challenge. How do we keep our world connected, keep our economies humming, and our skies open while also protecting our planet? That is the question the entire industry is trying to answer right now.
So check this out. This is the official purpose statement from Airbus, one of the real titans of the industry. It's bold, it's ambitious, and it really frames everything we're talking about today. But notice that last part. It's not just about sustainability, it's also about a safe and united world. And we're going to see just how deeply connected those two ideas really are. Okay, so here's our flight plan for this explainer. We'll start with the big picture, the grand challenge. Then we'll zoom right into a key hub of innovation in Germany. We'll look at the actual roadmap to cleaner skies, check out the mind-blowing tech that's making it happen, and see how this all ties into European security. And finally, we'll look ahead to what's coming next. So here's the deal. The aerospace industry has to walk this incredible tightrope. On one hand, it is an absolutely essential engine for the global economy. But on the other hand, it has a serious environmental footprint that we have to address. It's this dual mandate: power global prosperity and at the same time protect the planet. And wow, this slide really puts it into perspective. We're talking 4.1% of all global economic activity. And get this, a staggering 35% of all global trade by value is carried on airplanes. If aviation were its own country, its GDP would be the 17th largest in the entire world. So yeah, just grounding flights, that is not an option. We have to reinvent them. Okay, so let's go from that massive global view and zoom way in. To see where this future is actually being built, right now, we need to look at Hamburg, Germany. This city is, without a doubt, one of the most important aviation centers on the planet. Think about this number for a second. 7 billion euros. That is the economic punch the aviation industry delivers to the Hamburg region every single year. And behind a big number like that are people. Almost 50,000 people work in Hamburg's aviation sector. That's more than a third of Germany's entire aviation workforce, all in one place. So, all of this makes Hamburg not just number one in Germany, but the third largest hub for civil aviation in the entire world. Let that sink in for a minute. This isn't just some regional player. Hamburg is really setting the pace for the future of flight on a global scale. Now, what's really fascinating here is that this slide shows Hamburg's secret sauce. It's not just one big company. It's a whole ecosystem. You've got the giants like Airbus, sure, but you also have this web of smaller, super innovative companies, top-tier research centers, and government policy all working together, pushing in the same direction. That's the collaboration that makes innovation happen so fast. So, how exactly is this ecosystem tackling that massive climate challenge? Well, the industry has a really clear three-part strategy to decarbonize. It starts with what we can do today and builds towards the huge breakthroughs of tomorrow. Okay, first up, fleet renewal. This is basically the low-hanging fruit. New planes, like the A350, are already up to 25% more fuel efficient than the older jets they're replacing. Step 2 is using sustainable aviation fuel, or SAF, which we'll get into. And then step 3, the big one, is looking further out to disruptive new technologies like hydrogen power. It's a really pragmatic, step-by-step approach. All right, let's quickly break this down. You've got your old school jet fuel, kerosene. It's fossil-based. Then you have SAF. It's made from renewable sources. Think biofuels, synthetic fuels, and it massively cuts emissions over its whole life cycle. Now, here's the catch, and it's a big one: production. We just can't make enough of it yet, and scaling that up is a huge focus for the industry. And that brings us to the really, really exciting part, the long-term vision. This is where we go beyond just making things a bit more efficient and into completely new ways of flying. The research that's happening right now, this is what will define what an airliner looks like in the 2030s and beyond. And listen, these are not just ideas on a whiteboard. We're talking about the Zero E project, which is testing a seriously powerful hydrogen fuel cell for future planes. The Blue Condor, which is a modified glider, has already completed flights powered only by hydrogen, just to study its impact on the atmosphere. And on top of all that, they're developing these radical new wing designs and even investing in tech to literally pull carbon straight out of the air. The future is already flying. Now, let's circle back to that Airbus statement from the beginning. Remember, a safe and united world? Well, it turns out all this amazing high-tech innovation isn't just about being green. The very same skills, the same technology, the same industrial power you need to build sustainable airliners, well, those are also absolutely crucial for ensuring Europe's security. In the world we live in today, those two goals are completely intertwined. And this is not just some vague hope. The European Union has laid out a super clear and frankly aggressive timeline to beef up its defense. Just look at these milestones. Joint procurement targets by 2027, major projects up and running by 2028, and full capability by 2030. There's a real sense of urgency here. So what does that strategy actually look like? Well, this table breaks it down into 4 huge flagship projects. We're talking about an integrated air and missile shield for the continent, a drone network across the entire EU, better surveillance on the eastern border, and protection for Europe's critical satellites. These are massive continent-wide undertakings. And you see how it all connects, right? High-level policy like this is what fuels real, tangible, cutting-edge projects on the ground. A perfect example is the Future Combat Air System, or FCAS. This isn't just a new jet, it's a system of systems, a whole network of manned and unmanned aircraft all working together. And again, where is this happening? Germany is playing a pivotal role, with key development hubs in places like Manching. So let's pull all these different threads together. We've seen how the push for sustainability and the need for security are these two powerful forces, both driving a whole new era of innovation in aerospace. And we've seen how German hubs like Hamburg and Manching are right at the center of all the action. This really is the big question, isn't it? What is the airliner of the 2030s actually going to look like? Will it run on hydrogen? Will it have these wild, ultra-efficient wings? Based on the projects we've seen today, the answer is probably all of the above. The next decade is going to be a truly defining period for flying. And at the end of the day, that's the ultimate takeaway here. This massive industrial and technological shift, it's not just about building cool new planes. It's about fundamentally reshaping our world for the better, creating a future where we can travel cleanly, trade freely, and live securely. The technology is moving faster than ever, the roadmaps are set, and the ambition is crystal clear. The journey to a new age of aerospace has absolutely begun. The only question left is, are we ready for takeoff?